On February 7th, 2025, I set out on a mission to try every coffee shop in Portland, Oregon. Yes, you heard that correctly. My husband and I moved here to the City of Food in November 2024. Go watch my moving vlogs. And ever since, we've been doing our best to try as many local places as we can, while on a budget. Every Friday night, we do a date night at a new restaurant, and every time we go on a coffee date, we check another one off my long list. This journey will take time. Unfortunately, I'm not rich and I value my health, so I can't try 10 coffee shops a day, every day until I'm done, but we're still getting it done. This will be a multi-part series as we tackle the different regions of Portland, beginning with the Pearl District. And boy, was this quite the list to kick us off. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a video that I'm so excited about. I've been wanting to film this for months, but I had to go to all the coffee shops first so that I could actually tell you guys about them. For those who have never seen me before or who just aren't too familiar with me, I love coffee. I have a lot of videos on my channel regarding coffee, whether it be like trying to make a Starbucks copycat drink at home, or unboxing my new dream espresso machine, or setting up my dream coffee corner. Needless to say, I really like my coffee. We recently moved to Portland, Oregon, and for those who don't know, it's a very food-centered city. There's tons of really good food and everything is local. It's like hard to find a chain. And because of that, there's so many local coffee shops all over the place, and I really wanted to set out on a mission to try them all. This isn't one of those clickbait videos where it's like, I tried every coffee shop in New York City, and then they go to like 5 of them. No, I'm being serious about this. Am I hitting every single one in this video? No, because that would take a very long time and we're going by sections, but I will be hitting all of them. I made this list of all the coffee shops on February 7th, I think. I started it in February, and I literally went on my Google Maps and searched coffee shop and went street by street in each district and made a list of all of them. So if someone's trying to like come after me and be aggressive and fact check me and be like, oh, you missed one, maybe it wasn't open when I made this list, because I did make it several months ago, but I swear I combed through Google Maps street by street and I wrote every single one down that came up. Before we dive too deep in though, I do want to give a brief explanation of like the different areas so that when I refer to different districts or streets or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So when I say I'm trying every coffee shop in Portland, I'm referring to West Portland. Portland itself is huge. There are tons of neighborhoods that I'm not even going to mention right now because I don't even know them all, but I feel like Portland, when you hear of it, you think of East and West Portland. So it's divided into East and West, and there's a river running right through them that divides the two sides. We are on the west side of Portland, and that's definitely the more city side. The east side of Portland is still considered part of the city of Portland, but it's definitely a lot less city, less walkable, less poppin'. Well, that's not entirely true. There are popping areas of the east side, but the west side is more consistently city all over the place. So we're focusing on the west side. Then within the west side, there's 4 general districts that we're going to be focusing on because these are kind of regarded as like the main districts that make up West Portland. So you have the Northwest District, you have the Pearl District, you have Goose Hollow, and then you have downtown. As you heard me say earlier, this video is focusing only on Pearl District. We're hitting every single coffee shop in the Pearl District in this video. And that's kind of how the future videos in this little mini series are going to work. We're going to pick one quadrant or one district and focus only on that one because each one has a gazillion. I won't elaborate on the other districts for now because we're not worrying about those right now. So I'll save that for future Rachel in a future video. But the Pearl District, I do just want to clarify, technically, part of what I'm considering Pearl is called Old Town, and that is the neighborhood that is the most eastern side of the Pearl District. I don't know if it's technically actually considered its own place or if it is considered like a sub-region or sub-neighborhood of the Pearl. That's how I think of it. So there are some that we will go to in this video that are in Old Town, but I think of it as all in Pearl. I also just want to give a little heads up that Old Town is a more rundown area of the city. It's definitely a little bit sketchier over there, and that's where you tend to find people doing drugs on the street. So it's not the nicest area, and so that will affect the rankings of some of my coffee shops that I mention. And here Suki comes to say hi. What are you doing? So speaking of rankings, how are we ranking these coffee shops? Great question. I decided just to make things a little bit more fair because some of them have very different rankings depending on what I'm rating them on. I decided to come up with 4 subcategories that I'll give a ranking in out of 5 stars. And then I'll give my overall rating of the entire place after I share all of those. And that will also be out of 5 stars. The first category will be coffee. And I will be honest, this is definitely going to hold the most weight in my overall rating because we are, at the end of the day, trying these coffee shops to see if we like their coffee. So if some of them don't have the greatest vibes, but they have really good coffee, they might still score pretty high. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, let me throw in a disclaimer. I'm not a coffee snob. I don't know how to describe the mouthfeel of a coffee. I don't know how to describe the different hints and notes I'm tasting. So let me just throw that out there right now. If you're looking for like a professional food review, coffee review person, that's not me. But I am a coffee enjoyer and I drink coffee on the daily, and I have my own espresso machine where I make my own lattes at home all the time. Those are my qualifications. Do with that what you will. The next thing we'll be rating is the vibes of the place. And when I say vibes, I specifically mean inside the coffee shop. How's the atmosphere? What's the decor like? Would I go there and hang out for a couple hours, or would I just pop in and grab my coffee to go? Then we have the location rating, which is outside the coffee shop. And I think it's important to distinguish those two because, as I mentioned, there's some not so nice areas of the city, but some of the coffee shops, the vibes are great once you're inside. So we're rating those separately. Also factoring in how easy it is to get to by walking or public transit, how close it is to the heart of the Pearl District. And then the last category is price. Is it cheap? Is it expensive? Is it pretty standard? If it's really expensive, is it worth the price or is it overpriced? And then after rating all of those, I'll give my final rating overall for each coffee shop. Okay, I'm just gonna give the warning now. Suki will probably be popping in and out of frame this whole video, so if you see random jump cuts where she's there and then she's not, sorry. Oh, and just a couple more points to mention before we dive into each coffee shop. I said I will be giving ratings on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 obviously means bad and 5 is good, but I'm considering 3, since it's right in the middle, to be quite average and standard. And also, since I feel like it could get a little bit confusing when I'm ranking price out of 5, that once again, 1 out of 5 is like it's super expensive and so it's bad. 5 out of 5 is like, wow, that's a steal. And my final little disclaimer, so that I don't anger anyone if I don't like a coffee shop that someone else loves. Keep in mind, most of these places I've only been to once because I went to them to try them for this video. So I only got to try one drink from them. So some of these places, if I don't like them, maybe I just chose a bad drink. Maybe the new guy made my drink that day. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So just keep that in mind if I am talking negatively about one of your favorite coffee shops here. I've only been there once, probably. Oh, and in case anyone was worried, of course, I have a coffee while I'm doing a video all about coffee. However, this one is from my personal coffee shop, not any of the ones in this video. So the first few coffee shops I'm going to mention, I actually have been to a very long time ago and don't have footage of because I went to them before I decided I wanted to film this video. So because of that, I don't necessarily have like clips of the inside and of the drink I got and of me trying it for the first time. I have still been to all of them, but I'm just going to start with those just to get them out of the way, and then we'll go into all the other ones. There's only a few of them where I don't actually have footage of me going there, so we're going to start with those. And then at the very end of this video, I will then give you my like overall recommendations. And I have a few different picks depending on what you're looking for. The first coffee shop is called Gilder Cafe, and it is located on Burnside Street and 10th Avenue, which reminds me, I did want to mention the streets in Pearl District and Northwest, but we're talking about Pearl right now. They actually go alphabetically from A to, I don't know when it ends. I don't know if it actually goes all the way to Z, but they go alphabetically from A to whenever in the alphabet as you go from south to north. So Burnside Street is a very main road. Right below that is Alder, but then above that is all the other streets going up by the alphabet, or I guess down the alphabet up north. So if you hear me say a name that starts with an M, you know it's much further north. And if you hear me say one that starts with a B or a C, you know it's much further south. I would say that Gilder is probably one of the most popular tourist coffee shops, and that's because it is inside Powell's bookstore, which is what they claim to be the world's largest independent bookstore. It is an entire block just dedicated to multiple floors of books. It's a super popular spot for locals and tourists alike, right in the heart of the Pearl District. And inside Powell's, they have a coffee coffee shop called Gilder's. In my opinion, the coffee is just okay. I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5. It's pretty average. My biggest complaint with this place is they kind of feel a little too bougie for me. It's one of those places where they don't have a lot of standard latte flavors like caramel, hazelnut, vanilla. I believe they have vanilla or chocolate if you want something standard like that. But other than that, they're really just promoting a couple of their signature drinks, which is just a little too fancy and bougie for me. I tend to just gravitate towards a basic caramel latte. And because they offer signature drinks that are specific to them and they're pretty popular because they're in Powell's, they're a little bit expensive, but not too much more than the average coffee shop around here. So I'm giving them a 3 out of 5 on price as well. Because they're located in a very popular bookstore, I do like the vibes. I'm giving them a 4 out of 5 just because it is loud in there because it's a small space and it's very popular. So it's almost always packed, at least when I'm in there. So it is a bit loud and probably wouldn't be the best place to go if you really need to focus, but it is fun vibes. And the location as a whole is definitely a 5 out of 5 because like I said, it's right in the heart of Pearl District. My overall rating for Gilder is a 3 out of 5. It's not outstanding. If I wanted to get coffee, I wouldn't go there, but I think as a tourist spot, you should go there if you're ever in Portland. I think Powell's is the more iconic tourist spot that you want to go to, but then the coffee shop is inside there and the vibes are fun if you've never been before, so I feel like you might as well go if you're visiting for the first time. The next coffee shop is called Sisters Coffee and it's on Marshall Street and 13th Avenue. I have been to Sisters Coffee many times, including multiple times with my sister. I just really love the vibes and the food. The coffee could be a bit sweeter for me, honestly. It's still good. I just like my coffee more on the sweet side. So honestly, I feel like the food is more standout than the coffee to me. I give the coffee a 3.5 out of 5, but I really just like this place for the vibes. It has a really cute loft area with a little more seating. The downstairs is pretty busy usually because the line goes through there and the pickup is right there. It's honestly always busy because it's a popular spot. Vibes are a 5 out of 5. Location is a 3.5 out of 5 just because it's pretty far north in the Pearl District, so it is a bit of a walk to get there and there's not too much to do right around that area. But the reason I only give it a 3.5 is because there are other coffee shops that I'll talk about later that are even further away, so this one is not that bad. In terms of the price, I give it a 2.5 out of 5 because it is just a little bit more expensive than your average coffee shop, although I do feel like prices are continuing to go up, so it's not that far off from average anymore. Depending on the customizations and dairy versus non-dairy milk, etc., you're looking at $5.50 to $7-ish a drink. I'd say the main factor going for this coffee shop is really just the vibes. My overall rating for Sisters Coffee is a 4 out of 5. I love the vibes and are you eating my plant? I love the vibes and the food, and so that's definitely a reason alone that I would go there. As I mentioned, the coffee just could be a little bit sweeter for me, but that's not a deal breaker. I still just like going there for the vibes. The next coffee shop is Good Coffee, which is on Cooch Street and 11th Avenue. Yes, I said Cooch Street. It's spelled couch. It's pronounced Cooch. It was someone's last name. This place didn't stand out to me too much, but it was good. I'd give the coffee a 3 out of 5. I think it was pretty average. I'd also give the vibes a 3 out of 5. It's just nothing that special, and there are other places I'd rather go to hang out. The location is a 5 out of 5. It's close to Powell, so it's right in the heart of the Pearl District. And I'd give the price a 3 out of 5. It's pretty standard, $5 to $6 for a latte. My overall rating for Good Coffee is a 3 out of 5. It didn't stand out, but it was good, kind of right in the middle. The next coffee shop is called Cadejo Coffee, and it is on Cooch Street and Park Avenue. This next one also didn't stand out to me too much. The coffee was good, I think, but it didn't pair well with the food. This place has a cycling Mexican food menu, so I guess they cycle out different items or bring in different vendors. I don't fully understand their deal, but I just didn't feel like my coffee paired well with the Mexican food that I got. I don't really think it would pair well with much Mexican food, even though the Mexican food is technically like breakfast items. So it was kind of hard to judge because I felt like the pairing was just throwing it off. I give the coffee a 3.5 out of 5. The vibes were a 2 out of 5. It just wasn't super cozy or anything. The location is a 3 out of 5. It's kind of on the edge of the heart of the Pearl District heading towards Old Town, and there's just not much over there. And for the price, I give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's only $5 for a basic latte, but then they do have a $1 upcharge for non-dairy milk and a $1 upcharge for flavor, so it can get pretty pricey. My overall rating for Cadejo Coffee is a 2.5 out of 5. I really did not like the food and drink pairing. Maybe if I hadn't gotten any food there and I had just gone for coffee, it would be a different story. I'm not sure. It just like really threw me off. The next coffee shop is called Barista, and it's on Hoyt Street and 13th Avenue. There's also a location in Northwest, and I'm pretty sure we've been to both of them. I'm gonna get hate for this one. I've had a lot of people recommend this place to me, especially when we were new around here, so I know a lot of people love it and it has great reviews. Just keep in mind that I like my coffee on the sweeter side, so that might be why I'm not a huge fan of this place. They just don't sweeten the drinks quite enough for me, and so it didn't really stand out to me. I give it a 3 out of 5 for coffee. It's a 4 out of 5 for vibes. It is cute and cozy in there. The location is also a 4 out of 5. It's just like slightly outside what I feel like is kind of considered the heart of the Pearl, but it's still very close and in a good area with a lot of stuff around. The price is a 3.5 out of 5. It's only like $5 to $6 for a latte. My overall rating for Barista is a 3 out of 5. It didn't stand out, but I've heard such good things about it. So many people have recommended it to me. So maybe still try it while you're here. Maybe I just don't vibe with their coffee and how they make it. I don't know. Don't come for me. Okay, now we're on to the coffee shops that I actually intentionally went to and filmed myself out for the purpose of this video. The next coffee shop is Abba, and it's located on Hoyt Street and 11th Avenue. I decided to branch out at this place, and I got the caramel gochujang latte. I don't know if that's how you say it. This is one of the coffee shops that I feel like I can't quite give a fair rating because I decided to branch out with my drink choice when I went. The drink I got had a hint of spice in it, which I didn't realize when I ordered it, because I'm gonna be so honest, I didn't even know what that long, hard to pronounce word even was. This is the caramel gochujang latte. And it was fine. It was still pretty good, but I just don't really like drinks that have that spice in the flavor. So it did bring my coffee rating down to a 3 out of 5. I'd also give the vibes a 3 out of 5. It's just not super cozy and it just feels kind of bright and sterile in there. The location is a 4 out of 5 and the price is a 2.5 out of 5. It can get pretty pricey depending on what you order. It's like $6.25 for a basic latte, but if you want one of their specialty lattes, it could be anywhere from $6.50 to $7.25. My overall rating for Abba Coffee Roasters is a 3 out of 5. Similar to other ones I've already said, it didn't quite stand out that much, and I also wasn't a huge fan of the signature flavor that I chose. Maybe I'd be a bigger fan if I went back and tried something a little more basic, but that's just my first impression. The next coffee shop is called Above Ground Coffee, but it's spelled GRND, and it's located on Flanders and Broadway. Fun fact, Ned Flanders on The Simpsons was named after Flanders Street in Portland. I tried one of their winter specials that they had on the menu when we went there, and it was an iced hazelnut white mocha latte. This one was really interesting because it's above like a shoe store. We were a little bit confused when we first got there because we walked in and it was a shoe store with a cashier sitting at like the front desk area, but he seemed to kind of just assume when we walked in that we were there for the coffee shop because he didn't really do much, so I feel like they probably don't get that much business. But once you walk in, there's a staircase to the left that you walk up and then you're in the actual coffee shop. It's kind of like the loft area of that store. The coffee shop itself though was really nice. I'd give the coffee a 4 out of 5. It was really yummy. The drink I got specifically was a little bit sweeter than I'd like because it was one of their specialty ones and it had a lot of syrups in it, but it was still really good. The vibes of the coffee shop itself were really fun too. The decor was fun and artsy and they had some board games that you could play and lots of different seating options, but it was just a little bit weird that it was above the shoe store. I feel like that kind of threw it off a little bit, so my overall rating would be a 3.5. The location unfortunately is a 1.5. It's just not in a nice area, and the price is a 2. You're typically looking at spending $6 to $7 on a drink depending on the customizations.
Was it all foam?
Pretty good. I'm not the biggest cold foam fan, but it's pretty good. My overall rating for Above Ground Coffee is a 3.5 out of 5. The coffee was yummy. It was a little sweet for me, but I still did really enjoy it. I think like a basic caramel latte would be really good there, but it's just a little far and the vibes are just a little bit off. It's a little weird. So 3.5. The next coffee shop is called Nuvrei and it's on Flanders and 10th. I've been here several times and I always usually get a caramel latte. This one is a fan favorite. We have been here several times. I'm trying to be very strict about what places I give a 5 out of 5 for any of the categories, but especially for the coffee. I don't want to overhype anything. And I think the 5 out of 5 should go to things that really, really stand out. So I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5 only because it's not like the greatest thing I've ever tasted in my life, but it is still very good. And it's a very good sweetness level for me. The vibes I'd give a 4.5 because it is very cute and cozy in there. And it's like right next to a plant store. So it's just like cute vibes. But the place as a whole is pretty small. So if you go there when it's busy, you won't really have any space to hang out. The location is a 5 out of 5. It is so close to everything in Pearl. And the price I'd give a 3. Most of the drinks are going to cost you anywhere from $5 to $6.50, just depending on the size and the customizations. But $6.50 is definitely on the higher end, so that's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. I feel like it's pretty good in terms of price. My overall rating of Nuvrei is a 4.5 out of 5. 5. Honestly, just because I'm trying to be very picky with who I hand out 5s to. And there are other places where I like the coffee a little bit more. But this one's a very close contender to those. 4.5. The next coffee shop is Matta Cafe. I think that's how you say it, and it's located on Flanders and 14th. I got a dirty chai because I believe it was actually on their menu. I love a dirty chai, but usually you have to get just the normal chai latte and then add the espresso shot. But this one was just on the menu, and so I got it. I don't know why. It influenced me. This place was really good overall, except for the price. The coffee itself was so good. I gave it a 5. Then again, I got a dirty chai at this place, which I don't always get because they're usually pretty expensive. But when I do, I usually love them. So that could be skewing my rating. I also gave the vibes a 5. It seems like it's a coffee shop during the day and a bar at night. So it's just got those vibes. It's super cozy and also very open. So there's plenty of seating. They also have a big like garage door type thing that they'll open when the weather's nice, so that just adds to the vibes. I gave it a 4 for the location. It's still pretty close to everything in like the center of Pearl, but it is on the outskirts of the district. It's like right near the border where Pearl meets Northwest, but it's still pretty close to everything. Unfortunately, I have to give the price a 1. It is just very overpriced. As I mentioned, I got my dirty chai and it cost me like $8. Granted, I always get oat milk, which is an extra charge, but still. So while it was delicious and the vibes were really fun, I don't know if it's worth the price. However, I would definitely go back to try just like a basic caramel latte and see if that's cheaper. Like I mentioned, I feel like dirty chais are always more expensive, so I don't usually go for them. Maybe a caramel latte would be cheaper, but $8 for a dirty chai, even if it was cheaper, it still seems like it's going to be pretty expensive. My final ranking for Matta Cafe is a 3.5 out of 5. I really liked the coffee and I really liked the vibes. I brought my Kindle and read there while I had my coffee, but I just don't think I can justify the price. The next coffee shop is called Deadstock Coffee and it's located on Cooch and 4th. When we went there, I got me and AJ caramel lattes. If I had to describe this place in one word, I would definitely say overstimulating. It was one of those places where you walk in and the music is blasting really loud and there's not a lot of seating and it's not super organized and there's kind of just artwork all over the walls. The employees are just having fun, talking to each other, dancing behind the counter. They're talking to their customers like they're regulars and they see them all the time. It's definitely great vibes, but it's very overwhelming to walk into for the very first time. This place is very popular though and kind of like a must-see when you visit Portland. For some reason, their whole thing is that they don't have a menu, which I didn't know when I first walked in. So I stood there for a very long time looking around, very confused. Eventually, I just gave up and ordered 2 caramel lattes for me and AJ. But when prepping to film this video, I was doing a little bit more research and it seems like their whole thing is like, just ask us what's good. And maybe they're like always kind of experimenting and coming up with new flavors, I guess. I can't lie, the coffee was delicious. I give it a 5. The vibes, I will give a 3.5. I can tell that the vibes are fun, but as a first timer, it was very overwhelming and overstimulating. And the lack of menu was just, it's not good for people with anxiety. It's also very small, so there's like 2 stools, so you really can't sit in there and hang out for very long. The location is a 2 out of 5. It's not so deep into Old Town and Chinatown where it tends to get a little bit sketchy, but it is on the way there, so it's not the nicest area. The price, I'm just giving a 3 out of 5 because like I said, there's no menu, so I don't even fully remember how much we paid, but I don't remember it being anything insane, so I think it was probably pretty standard. My overall rating of Deadstock is a 4.5 out of 5, kind of similar to Nuvrei. I'm trying to be very picky about where I hand out my 5s. This one, I think the coffee is a 5 out of 5, but overall, it was just a little bit overwhelming for me and further away than other coffee shops that I like better. The next coffee shop is called Snow Bunny and it's located on Petty Grove and 11th. When we went there, I got an ube latte and AJ got a Biscoff cookie latte. Of course, I tried his too. And we also got this like tuna salad toast thing because we were hungry. This one was a standout, 5 out of 5 for coffee. They had a lot of fun, unique flavors too. The ube latte I got, I wouldn't give a 5 out of 5 to. I honestly wasn't sure if I liked ube. I just kind of wanted to try it. And it was good, but not my favorite in a coffee. But AJ got their like Biscoff cookie latte and it was really good. The vibes are also impeccable. It's a 5 out of 5 for sure. The whole place is just so cute, designed so nicely, and they like actually totally put thought into their presentation. It is so cute and just matches the entire aesthetic of the coffee shop. Like how cute are these cups? I want them. Also, they allow dogs inside, so bonus points on the vibes. The location, unfortunately, is like a 2.5, not because it's in a bad area or anything. It's just pretty far north. I'd say the heart of the Pearl District is definitely south and mid Pearl District, right around Powell's in that area. And this place is very far north, so it's just kind of out of the way. And if you don't live in that area, it's kind of a walk. But then again, nothing is really that far in Portland, so it's not too bad. The biggest downside to this place is the price. I gave it a 2 because it is pretty expensive. We paid $23.75 for 2 lattes and a tuna salad toast thing that we got. But I gotta say, I think this place is worth the price. My overall rating of Snow Bunny, if you couldn't tell by how much I raved about it, is a 5 out of 5. I love it. I think it's actually worth the price. Maybe not everyone would agree, but I love it. And we added it to our list of places that like we will be taking family and friends when they visit from out of town because it's that fun and that good. The next coffee shop is called Cafe United, and it is located on Cooch and First. I do want to point out one thing. When I was doing my search for coffee shops, there was another one in this exact same location as Cafe United that came up on maps that was called Floyd's Old Town Coffee. And we were originally going to that one first, but it wasn't there. It was only Cafe United, and either one that I searched on my maps came up with the same pinpoint, but just under a different name. So I don't know if like it used to be called that and then it got renamed to Cafe United. I'm not really sure, but I just wanted to point that out. I don't know who Floyd is and what happened to his coffee shop. AJ and I both got toffee nut lattes when we went there. The coffee at this place was a pleasant surprise. It was really yummy. I give it a 5. Maybe this is going to sound a little weird, but I feel like the reason I'm giving it such a high rating is because I ordered a toffee nut latte and it actually tasted like toffee. I feel like I've gotten a toffee latte at other coffee shops before and it kind of just tastes like caramel, but this one was like definitely toffee, which was just such a nice, pleasant surprise, and it was really good. The vibes are a 3 out of 5. It's just a little bit old and outdated inside, but they did say they have live music on weekends sometimes, so it seems like it would actually be a really fun place to hang out, and they did let us bring Suki inside, so that is pretty nice. The location is a 2 out of 5. It's similar to Deadstock, where it's kind of just like passing through a not so nice area of town, and price is a 3 out of 5. I'd say it's pretty standard. You can get a basic latte for as cheap as $5, but the biggest sizes go for $6.50, and then if you want to add any flavors or non-dairy milk, it's 75 cents each. My overall rating of Cafe United is a 4 out of 5. It was really good and the vibes were pretty fun, but there are closer coffee shops with better vibes that I would rather go to. The next coffee shop is Ovation Coffee and Tea, and it's on Overton Street at the end of 10th Avenue, like where 10th ends. I got a caramel latte milkshake when I went there. I knew nothing about this place coming in, and oh my gosh, it is amazing. Coffee 5 out of 5. Granted, I've only been there once and I got their coffee milkshake, so I haven't actually had just like a normal coffee from them, but that's the reason I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 is because they have a coffee milkshake. I've never seen any place do this. It's not a frappuccino. It's different than that. Frappuccinos are kind of more like icy and blended. This was literally a milkshake with ice cream. It was so good. The vibes I'd give a 3.5. It's nothing special and it kind of just feels like a restaurant. The location is a 2, similar to Snow Bunny. It's pretty far north, but I think it's even a little bit further north than Snow Bunny. And price, I'm giving a 4.5. I paid $6 for my caramel latte milkshake and it was a really good size. And I feel like $6 is the price you'd pay for a normal latte anywhere else, but this was like a milkshake version, which I feel like would normally be so much more expensive. My overall rating of Ovation Coffee and Tea is for sure a 5 out of 5. It is so yummy and it's very unique. It's different. I've never gone to a coffee shop that offers coffee milkshakes, so I feel like for that reason it's kind of a must go to if you're a big coffee person, because where else can you get a coffee milkshake? Maybe I'm just living under a rock, but also no, I'm not, because I've been to every coffee shop in Pearl District and that's the only one where I've seen a coffee milkshake. Highly recommend. The next coffee shop is called Roste Chocolate House, and it's on Gleason and 14th. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I feel like it's Rost, but I don't really know. I got their signature like marzipan moon latte. I think it was a summer special or a spring special or something. And then AJ got this like signature chocolate drink that's one of their signature drinks that they have all the time, and it was interesting. This was one of the last places we tried before finally finishing the Pearl District to film this video, and I don't know why it took us so long. It's definitely not your average coffee shop. It's called Ross Chocolate House, so I think they definitely are more targeted at chocolate lovers, but they do have a ton of coffee options. The coffee I'd give a 4.5. It's pretty sweet, but I did really like it. AJ got this really weird drink that's like their signature drink that's literally just like melted chocolate in a mug that you eat with whipped cream. He loved it, so I feel like he would probably give it a 5 out of 5, but it wasn't actually coffee. coffee. So I guess it's hard to give it a coffee rating, but drink rating overall, very good. The vibes are a 5 out of 5, but I feel like not for the same reason that other coffee shops I've given 5 out of 5s for vibes to are. This one was more just like good vibes because of the novelty of it. I've never been to a place like this before that just like makes a bunch of chocolate. It smelled like chocolate as soon as you walked in. It smelled so good. And the employees were all really nice. It was honestly kind of giving like a super wholesome Willy Wonka before he goes and does all that crazy shit. Location is also a 5. The price is a 2.5. I feel like there's quite a wide range in how much you could pay depending on what you get. Their more popular like signature drinks could reach $8, which is really expensive for one drink, but they did have some stuff as cheap as $5, so it kind of just depends on what you get.
Oh, do you taste the marzipan?
I don't really know what marzipan tastes like, but it's good. It's like, it's a very good amount of sweet. Is it thick? Mm-hmm. Is it just like chocolate?
Oh my god, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Sure, it looks so sweet.
very thick and viscous, right? Yeah, that's the point.
It's good chocolate.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just drink that?
And put some whipped cream on top.
My overall rating of Ross Chocolate House is a 5 out of 5 just for the novelty of it. It's very different and it's unique, and I don't think you can really find anything else like it around here, or at least not that I've seen yet. We're still exploring the other districts, but I'll get back to you on that. I think it'd be a fun place to take visitors to if you lived in Portland and you have friends and family out of town, or if you're visiting. I think it's a cool place to stop by. The next coffee shop is called Lovejoy Bakers, and it's on Lovejoy and 10th. We actually went to this one for the first time a while ago. It was one of the ones that I didn't have footage from initially, but then we actually went back much more recently, so I do have footage from it now, and I feel like it's more fresh in my mind because I got to taste it again just a few weeks ago. When we went that time around, I got a caramel latte, and then we also both got a couple breakfast items. I love this place just because I feel like it gives like cute, wholesome neighborhood bakery. The coffee is very good. I give it a 4. The vibes are a 5. They have lots of seating inside, and they have an outdoor seating area that's really nice. It's kind of like your go-to Sunday brunch spot. Like, I feel like it's always crowded for a weekend brunch. The location is a 3.5. It's just a little bit far from everything, but not too bad. Price, unfortunately, is a 2. It's kind of expensive. The last time we went there, we got 1 drink and 2 food items, and we paid $31.50. So it's probably about $6 to $7 per latte. My overall rating for Lovejoy Bakers is a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really like it. Like, everything about it. I just think it's a little bit pricey, unfortunately, but I do really like it. The next coffee shop is called the Society Cafe, and it's located on Davis and 3rd. For all the astrology girls out there, you guys would like this place because they had a little chalkboard where they listed a different type of drink for each sign. So I did look at the Sagittarius one because I'm a Sagittarius, and it was intriguing. It was a lavender latte, but I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of lavender flavored things. I'm still trying to figure that out, and I wasn't really feeling like testing that out, so I ended up getting the drink that was for Cancer, and that's because it's like right up my alley. It was a vanilla latte with caramel drizzle, which is basically what I make at home every single day. So I went with that one. And AJ just got a standard caramel latte. This place is a little coffee shop in the lobby area of a hotel called the Society Hotel. Since we're in the city, there are a lot of places like this, restaurants and coffee shops and bars that are technically at the base of a hotel. This one was a good experience overall. The coffee was a 4 out of 5. It was pretty sweet, but I did really like it. The vibes inside the actual coffee shop were a 5. It was really cute in there. Obviously, one half was like the lobby of the hotel where you check in if you're staying there, but the other half was dedicated to the coffee shop. And they had just a few seating options right by the counter of the coffee shop, but it was just like really cute vibes, and there were a few other people in there who, I don't know, maybe were staying at the hotel, I'm not sure, but it was just a nice, cozy, friendly environment. The outside, however, is the complete opposite. Location is a 1. If there was a 0 on this scale, location's a 0. Unfortunately, it's in like the worst part of town. You're pretty much just constantly seeing people high on drugs walking past the window. But one silver lining is they know this, and so they keep their door locked at all times, so you have to like stand outside the door and they'll buzz you in when you want to even go inside to the coffee shop, so that definitely makes it feel safer. The price is a 4. We got 2 lattes and one of them with oat milk for $12.25, which I feel like is really good for around here. My overall rating for the Society Cafe is a 4 out of 5. It's kind of a bummer that it's located in the area that it is, because I feel like for that reason we're not really going to go there hardly ever, but the coffee shop itself is really cute inside, and the drinks were really good, and they weren't that expensive, so it's kind of a bummer that it's not in a good area. The next coffee shop is called Cafe Umbria, and it's located located on Everett and 12th. This one is actually funny because they have another location in downtown Portland that we had already been to a while ago. And I remember thinking it was just okay. I did branch out and try one of their signature drinks, which clearly I should stop doing that because it doesn't usually go well for me. But it was just okay. I wasn't crazy about it. AJ got an eggnog latte that time that he really liked, but I was just like, it's okay. And then when we were coming around to filming this video, at first I was like, I don't really need to go to the Pearl District location. I've already been to the downtown one. Like, they're the same place. But then, funny story, we were gonna go to one of the last coffee shops that I had to check off for this video, and it happened to be close. We were like, dang it. And then I was like, well, I still want coffee. So we ended up just going to the Cafe Umbria in Pearl because I figured might as well check it off if we can. And I'm honestly really glad we did because I tried just a basic caramel latte this time so that I could get a better feel for it with just a standard drink. And that was a good move. I'm honestly so glad we made it over to this location before I ended up filming this video because the second time around I got a much better impression. I just got a basic caramel latte this time around and it was really good. I'd give it a 4. The vibes I'd give a 4.5. We sat outside because we had Suki with us, but while I was in there ordering our drinks, it did seem like a fun place to hang out. And it's really big and quite spacious, which I feel like is really nice for a coffee shop because so many people go there and hang out for like several hours at a time. So it can get pretty busy and crowded. So it's nice when there's lots of seating options. The location is a 5. The price is a 2. We paid $14.50 for 2 lattes, which is pretty expensive. The price isn't bad for a very basic latte with dairy milk, but they charge 50 cents just to make it iced, and then they charge a lot to do all the different customizations like adding a flavor or adding a non-dairy milk. So if you're a very basic coffee drinker, it's not too bad, but if you're like me, it's a little pricey. My overall rating for Cafe Umbria is a 4 out of 5. I did really like it and I would definitely go back. And the final coffee shop in the Pearl District is called Monte Rossa Cafe. I hope I didn't butcher that. It is located on Flanders and 4th, and AJ and I both kept it simple. I got a caramel macchiato and he got a caramel latte. This last one was also a pleasant surprise. It is in the direction of all those other coffee shops I mentioned that aren't in the nicest area, so I was kind of dreading it, I'm gonna be honest. But it was just like a little pocket of sunshine in the middle of a not so great place. The coffee was really good. I'd give it a 4.5. I'm having trouble giving the vibes a fair rating because the coffee shop by itself on its own, I'd give a 2.5 because the space itself is very small. There's hardly any seating and it's not super cute and like intentionally designed or aesthetic or anything, but the vibes were a lot more fun than that when we were there because the workers were very friendly and it was just very like family friendly neighborhood coffee shop. So I'm a bit torn on the vibes. The location is a 1 for reasons I already mentioned. The price is a 5 out of 5. This is the only 5 out of 5 price on my list because we literally paid $10.50 for 2 lattes and one of them was with non-dairy milk. I was shocked at this price. We did get the smaller of the 2 sizes. I think they offered a 16 ounce and a 24 and we got the 16, but 16 ounces is not small. That's like a very standard size for a latte. So the fact that they were like a little over $5 each was shocking. Overall, I did like the experience at this place. It seems like they're trying to be kind of like a ray of sunshine in a not so nice area, and I think they're doing a good job at that. My overall rating of Monte Rossa Cafe is a 4 out of 5. I was pleasantly surprised by how nice everyone was and how like great the vibes were inside as opposed to outside. And those prices, you cannot beat a $5 latte anywhere around here. That is insane. Unheard of. And just like that, we have officially been to every single coffee shop in Pearl District, which is so cool to say. I feel like that's quite the accomplishment. We still have 3 more districts to go, so we're not done yet. This is an ongoing process. Literally every time we go on a coffee date now, I make us try a new one so I can get one step closer to checking every single coffee shop off my list. And I will continue to be doing that, so make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this so that you can see me explore all the other districts and get like the top picks overall and not just within each district. But of course, I do have to deliver that as well. My top picks for Pearl District coffee shops after I have tried every single one. Now I have 5 top picks and they're kind of varied depending on what you're looking for. My first one, if you're just looking for a really good cup of coffee and you're not going to go to hang out, I would recommend Deadstock. As I mentioned, the coffee is really good, and from what I've seen, it appears to kind of be like a Portland staple, but just go with the knowledge you now have from me that there's no menu and you're encouraged to just ask the barista what's up. Ask them what's good, ask them what they've been drinking lately, lately, and maybe you'll get some good recommendations. Another one of my top picks is Roste Chocolate House, and that is just for the novelty of it, as I've already said a handful of times by now. I think it's really fun and unique, and it's not the type of place that's located everywhere. Like, you can't necessarily find a chocolate house everywhere. So I think it's a fun place to take family and friends if they're visiting, or to go to if you're visiting Portland, just for the novelty and the experience of it. My next top pick is Ovation Coffee and Tea, because I think it's just a unique way to consume coffee. Again, as I've already established, I've never seen a coffee milkshake anywhere. And like I said, I've been to every coffee shop in Pearl now and a couple in the other districts. So I feel like I would have come across one if it's a popular thing. I don't think it is. So because of that, I think Ovation would be a cool place to go if you're looking for a unique take on a coffee shop. They also have a million other options too. I don't even know the extent of it. I know they have an affogato, which I feel like is more common than a milkshake, but still not that common. So they just have a lot of unique options in general. So you should definitely try it out if you're looking for something like that. And then my last two top picks are just basically top picks if you're looking for a little bit of everything. The first one is Nuvrei if you're just looking for good coffee, good food, good vibes. I think Nuvrei is a great place to go. They also have a bunch of fun, unique pastries, which I know I didn't mention because we're focusing on the coffee, but they do have some fun pastries. They have a rose croissant because if you didn't know, Portland is the city of roses. So they have this pink croissant that's very sweet and sugary, just a heads up. But they do have a lot of really yummy food to pair with your coffee. They also recently redid their seating. So I know in the footage that I showed in this video, it was before they did that. So I feel like the seating is better now. Before it was like, they weren't really optimizing the space and it was hard to find a seat because there weren't that many options. But now they've kind of taken all the clunky stuff out and they just added like one long bench against the walls with tables here and there. So I feel like you can seat a lot more people now. So it's a better place to go hang out than it was before. And then my final top pick for everything, good coffee, good food, good vibes, is Snow Bunny. You just have to be willing to spend a little bit more. But I truly do think it's worth it. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions. If you go and you spend more money than you wanted to and it wasn't worth it to you, I'm so sorry, but I think it's worth it. And if you go to any of these that I've recommended, I hope they live up to the hype. And that's all the coffee I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and also comment below and just let me know. It makes my day when anyone takes time out of their day to comment, especially because I'm still a very small creator. So it's really special that people are willing to like take time out of their day to sit and write a nice comment. I see them, I read them all, I respond to all of them. If you're from the Portland area and you've been to a lot of these coffee shops, let me know what your favorite is. If you've never been to Portland, let me know which ones you'd want to try that sound the best. Or if you're coming to Portland soon, let me know which ones you're gonna try now that you've seen this video. Also share this with one of your coffee loving friends so you can help me get more eyes on it, because I really have a passion for coffee and videos, and that's what this is. So I would love if more people could see it. And remember that we're not done. We still have 3 more districts to explore. I think one of them might be combined with another because there's one that's pretty small, but still, we still have 3 more districts to explore before we check off this huge goal of hitting every coffee shop in Portland, and I'm not going to give up until I get there. So make sure you subscribe and stick along for the ride, because it's going to be a ride. It'll be a little bit before the next one because I have to go to these slowly because I can't go get coffee every single day, although I wish I could, but I just can't financially do that. So it will be a little bit, which is why you need to subscribe so you don't miss when the next one comes out. But whenever it does, I can't wait to see you there. Cheers.